Hello everyone, welcome to PAC Analyst Hot Takes. My name is Super Elisa, and here with me today we have Christophe Chalons, our Chief Analyst. Welcome, Christophe.
Thank you, Elisa.
You're welcome. So tell me, Christophe, what are the hot topics that you hear about in the market today?
I think first of all we have to consider that we have right now a massive slowdown of IT spending in the market, and it is reflecting in decreasing revenue for or slower growing revenue for all the hardware, the software, the services suppliers, because we have to realize that we have behind us 2 years of exceptional growth. And I would say there are a few reasons for this exceptional growth. The first one, there was a catch-up effect following the bad COVID impacted 2020. Second, the COVID gave a boost to digitization to make businesses more resilient. Third, especially last year, the war in Ukraine led to massive price increase. Following these 2 years of buoyant growth, there is room for a temporary slowdown of, I would say, somehow uncontrolled investments in the last 2 years. And this is even reinforced by the tough economic environment that we see everywhere, forcing companies to make a lot of cost savings. So on the one hand, I see some areas where companies are right now saving money, and this is mainly in the areas where they overinvested in the last 2 years. So this impacts a lot everything which has to do with digital customer engagement, so front end, customer experience. This is illustrated by the massive slowdown of growth of Salesforce or Adobe. On the other, also they need to manage better the cloud consumption. In fact, they faced an explosion, uncontrolled explosion of the cloud consumption in the last 2 years. And the problem is even reinforced by the massive price increase by the hyperscalers. So 2 areas where we see a massive slowdown of growth. On the other hand, we have some acceleration areas, and I would first mention AI with the emergence of Gen AI, which really boosts the growth. And you could say Gen AI is somehow a democratization of AI. Second, we have sustainability, especially in continental Europe, because of new regulations, which will be implemented in 2024. So which force companies to improve their reporting, and in a second step to optimize their carbon footprint in the IT and also through IT. Third, SAP with its announcement of stopping the standard maintenance of the business suite at the end of 2027, also to offer innovation only to S4 cloud customers. Combined with a very aggressive rise and grow sales initiative, they motivate, or we could say they force the customers to accelerate the S4 migration. Fourth area is, in fact, the mid-market, the upper mid-market in particular. In fact, in the last 2 years, we saw mainly the large companies accelerating the digital transformation, while the smaller ones were a bit slower, a bit later, so there is a need to catch up there for them. And finally, given the tough economical environment and the resulting need for cost saving, we see a reboost of the so-called traditional outsourcing model, so cost-driven outsourcing.
I understand. But which one of those topics do you think is particularly relevant, and why?
I would start with Gen AI. So it's for sure a game changer, and we see that investment in this area are literally exploding. So we have a factor 3 to 4 in 23, a factor 3 to 4 in 24, a factor 100 within 5 years. So it's huge. However, it's from a very low level, especially in Europe. So we estimate that the 5 largest European markets, so France, Germany, the UK, Italy and the Netherlands combined will represent a 700 million euro market for GenAI software-related services in 2024. Just to compare, in the US alone, one country, you are talking about 5 billion. And so US is much more advanced. Yeah. So you could say it's a factor 2 years, but it's much more advanced than in Europe. We see GenAI in several contexts, so starting with marketing, sales, customer care. Overall, I would say in productivity, so document processing, text, image, video processing, search, document creation, and also very promising in IT with code generation on the one hand, on security on the other. However, there are still a lot of uncertainties and risks. Risk, for example, the risk of inbreeding, it's a topic we address in our predictions, but also uncertainties in terms of compliance. And we should not forget also that GenAI will not only enable the good ones, it will also enable the hackers and the rogues. So this is for me the first topic I would mention. The second, cloud, in fact, it remains a key enabler of the digital transformation and, by the way, also for GenAI. But what we see is in the short term, the focus is more on managing cloud consumption, using FinOps, also analyzing which application, which use cases are really critical and to focus the spending on those. By comparison with GenAI, SAP may appear as a boring topic. However, if you just look at the SAP S4 migration, it's an incredibly larger market. So if we take again the same 5 countries, France, Germany, UK, Italy, Netherlands, we are talking about a 7 billion euro market in 2024 for the SAP S4 migration. So it's 10 times bigger than GenAI.
Oh, I see. That's a lot. How do you think this will impact buyers and sellers in the upcoming months or even years?
Well, on the one hand, the users have to tackle the topics like GenAI, like ESG or the S4 migration. And by the way, in these 3 areas, we are missing resources across the geographies, so meaning onshore in Europe, in the US, in Japan, but also offshore. So there is a big issue there. And it means that the war for talent, for hiring, for keeping, developing resources will be very strong in these areas. On the other, given the tough economic environment, the need to save costs, the pressure on budgets, companies will have to prioritize their investment. So to postpone some projects, to reduce some project scope, to stretch some projects over a longer time frame. And by the way, this will not be limited only to the topics I mentioned before, customer engagement and cloud. It will affect also all the IT investments. So they will have to prioritize, and this will happen in all industries. I mean, public sector is probably less impacted in most countries, but even this can change very fast. We just saw that in Germany a few days ago with the announcement of a massive budget freeze in public sector. Maybe to illustrate this, many companies used to plan a big transformation, a process transformation, a greenfield S4 migration when going to S4. The lack of time, the lack of money will force many of them to just make a technical migration, what we call a lift and shift.
Thank you very much for sharing all these valuable insights with us, Christophe.
You're welcome, Elisa.